What, are you in the kitchen or in an office today?
I'm down in the office again.
Because it sounded a little different.
Because we're on Wednesday instead of a Thursday night.
Right.
Wrong. It's whatever night you want it to be. It's all in your mind. You're listening to Time to Lean and Here's a Song, episode 12.
Yes. So you survived the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday?
I survived it pretty well, but that's because I didn't have to do much. We stayed home and hung out a little bit with the kids, and otherwise just really had some nice quiet time at home and
good.
Just chilled out, unpacked some more things.
You did the Martha Stewart turkey, I saw.
We do, yeah. That's one my mom likes a lot.
Do you brine it first or?
So it's pretty simple. You brine it and do the normal just saltwater brine, and then I think it's a salt and pepper on it, and you make this basting liquid out of white wine and melted butter.
Butter, yeah. I didn't put white wine in mine. I put butter, of course, but. And
the nice thing, of course, is that when you combine the melted butter and the white wine, it stays liquidy.
Oh.
While you're basting or while you're cooking it, so you can just keep adding more liquid as it cooks.
I brined too, and then I did the thing where you flip it upside down and cook it a little hotter for an hour, and then you flip it back, and I don't know, to try to get the thighs right.
The trick with this particular version, and actually if you search for this, there's more than one Martha Stewart turkey recipe.
Oh, there's more than one Martha Stewart.
There's only one of me.
She's duplicated. This one you put a layer of cheesecloth over the top, and that keeps the skin from getting too dried up.
Oh, interesting.
And then you soak the cheesecloth in the butter wine
sure
liquid. You lay it over the top of the turkey while it's baking.
Well, thank goodness. And
then every half hour or so you put more of that butter wine mixture on it, and it makes a really great drippings.
I put there's butter, but then
that's about it.
Then broth and stuff, and some onions and things, and carrots and celery.
Oh yeah, that's a good those aromatic vegetables.
But I
go in the bottom of the pan. Yeah,
I just I baste from the bottom of the pan. Then I don't have a special broth or special.
Yeah, no, I have a separate bowl of stuff, and you just add more and more liquid to it as you go.
This I've been doing the brining for a few years now, but of course afterwards thing popped up and it said, oh well, wet brining is out now, and dry brining is in. Have you heard about dry brining?
Is that where you just put a whole bunch of salt on it?
I think so.
Like dry salt, like under the skin or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing.
That's probably what it is. I've heard of it, never tried it. That's
a new thing.
The other way around doing a brine is to buy a kosher turkey, because those are pre-brined.
Oh, pre-brined. That's right.
Yep.
Well, we've always lately we've gotten, when we host every other year, and we hosted this year, and lately we've got ordered ahead and got the fresh turkey, because the thawing out thing I don't know. It's like takes 15 days or something. I don't get it, but whatever.
Fresh turkeys are not that much more expensive. I think it's totally worth buying. Going fresh,
even if it's a few bucks more or whatever. I think we got some free range organic thing too that was probably not even really a turkey. Ooh. It was genetically spliced, or I don't know what it was. Speaking of genetically splicing, that was in the news today. The guy made twins that can't get AIDS or something.
I heard something about that.
Oh, it was splicing. I don't know what it is. They got the CRISPR out. I think you could use a CRISPR to make a better turkey. Wouldn't you be able to?
A CRISPR.
At least the outside would be nice.
That isn't. I was thinking the CRISPR, isn't that bottom drawer of your fridge where you throw a bunch of lettuce and it goes bad?
And also evidently you could use your fridge to genetically create a master race. No, but yeah, Thanksgiving was okay. We didn't, like, unlike some families, I don't think we had any political discussions where people get mad or whatever. Or I guess a lot of families I've been reading about are like kind of, they're getting so polarized now that I know I'm getting political, but I'm excluded from that part of the family now or whatever because of my views. It's like that's just getting weird.
Yeah, fortunately, that I haven't directly experienced that. I mean, my family's had a few things where things get heated, but it isn't the stereotypical thing where half the table is red, half of them are blue, and they're all just staring at each other, and thinking, when can we go home?
Yeah. Oh God.
No, fortunately.
But yeah, it was a good holiday. It was, a lot of work, but
yeah, you hosted your. Did you host or did your brother host?
Yeah, no, this was our year as a host. So
you host and you made the turkey and had the family. You had your dad, I think, in town.
Yeah, and his girlfriend. They came from Rapid City, and one of my brothers lives in Wisconsin. He came out with his family, and the tradition is the day after we meet at their hotel, and we go swimming, and then we have pizza.
Sure. Is that a segue?
God, it was terrible.
That's one of our topics tonight.
I tried to make it smoother.
Pizza. Did you actually eat pizza, or did you just make that up?
No, we actually do. So that's becoming now. Some years we have subs or sandwiches, but because it's like, who wants to cook and
no, it's perfect actually.
So, and the kids are fine with that, and so we did have pizza, but that does in a terrible segue goes to we had a comment, but I think it was sort of a joke, but it was I said
who could tell?
I said something like I can't remember what I said, but or you get leftover pizza or something as a prize on our Facebook page. I think it's how I worded it. And Jennifer L. said, from Virginia, I believe, unless she's lying. You never know on the internet. Hey, we branched out. We got somebody other than South Dakota replying, but or Minnesota. Said, how do you like your leftover pizza? Cold or warmed up? So we could talk about we're
doing pizza.
Yeah, so we could talk about that, and then maybe
first.
But first, what kind of pizza you like?
No. First, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh,
we have to have some kind of routine here.
Oh, I am drinking water. No, water clear. I am drinking Eagle Rare Manhattan.
Oh, good choice. That's one of my favorite bourbons.
Now, that goes back to Thanksgiving a little bit, because I have an uncle who likes whiskey. This was the first year I put out cocktail stuff. And I had a couple recipes out there, because I wasn't going to be able to make them for everybody. But I ended up making them anyway. Because when you're making the turkey, you can go back and forth. And, I was hoping he would try the old-fashioned, but he just said, no, I'll just have the whiskey and ice. He's a Jack Daniels guy. I didn't know that, but... he swears by it.
This is your dad?
No, this is my Uncle Jeff. My aunt and uncle come from Cottage Grove, and they. So he's like, well,
your Uncle Jack. Yeah.
No, Jeff. My Uncle Jack has a Jeff Daniels.
Freeform here, yeah. Go ahead.
And I don't think he ever tried Eagle Rare before. Sometimes he's gotten Gentleman Jack, but he wouldn't try the cocktail. I said, oh, fine. Just, so he had Eagle Rare on ice. He said, this is really good. And I said, well, I think this is my favorite up there with, I like Old Forester, too. But anyway, he liked that a lot.
Sorry. Just to put in my know-it-all whiskey thing about Eagle Rare, it's definitely not uncommon, but it's part of the... I consider it the Buffalo Trace family of bourbons.
Well, right.
Even that same distillery, I think the corporate outfit is it's Sazerac. I think that's the name of the company that makes a lot of those.
Well, Buffalo Trace used to be my go-to for a long time, but I've been able to get Eagle Rare. I tried it, and I'm like, I like this better. It is better. It's from the same basic
bourbon family as Buffalo Trace, except Eagle Rare is a 10-year aged whiskey.
Yeah. Well, it shows it.
It might be a slightly higher strength. The thing that's interesting is it doesn't really taste a lot like Buffalo Trace. It's a different character to it, even though it's from the same basic amount of grains. So I don't know if they do something different to it.
Well, what's Buffalo Trace? 6 years about?
I don't know if it has a statement on it.
Yeah. Oh, it could be. Yeah, who knows?
It could be a 4-year. It's probably a mix. I mean, there's so much of it. But and if anybody doesn't know, a Buffalo Trace is kind of the base ingredient of the very, very mythical Pappy Van Winkle's Private Reserve bourbon, which is one of the most hard to get and expensive whiskeys you can do.
Is that in the same lineage then, or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's the same basic, family. If you go research
all right.
it, and so a lot of and then as soon as Pappy Van Winkle got really trendy and popular and expensive, the stuff that is below it on the hierarchy, if you will, started to get also more popular and hard to get. So, like for example, one of the ones I used to like to drink some of my bar gigs is this Blanton's.
Blanton's, sure, that's there too.
Yeah, that's part of that same family, and now it's become one of these whiskeys that only the really high end bars have, and it's expensive, and the liquor stores never have it on the shelf. You have to get in a lottery to even have a chance of buying one.
Well, I got to try that just because back when I forgot the name of the bar that I used to go to. Pig. Handsome Pig? No.
Handsome Hog.
Handsome Hog. Thank you.
If you guessed Muddy Pig, you're right. You win some leftover pizza.
Back when they were open, they'd have Whiskey Wednesdays or something, and they had Blanton's, and that's where I tried that. So,
yeah, and it's very, very good. It's not quite at the level where it should be rationed like some rare elixir. It's just really nice, high quality bourbon, and it's really not that much better than Eagle Rare, which is probably $30.
Yeah.
But it's just that's the whole thing with whiskey gets popular and weird and stuff just goes crazy.
Popular and weird. Can you guess which of those two adjectives describes this podcast?
Well, it takes so long to make it. I mean, they can't, they only make so many barrels or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's the
supply and demand.
It is.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great drink.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. I probably had more of I noticed at Target, the Target liquor stores, the Targets that have liquor stores, are, it looks like, now at least ours, is, the closest one to us is, has the old Granddaddy bonded for like $18, which is, or $18.50 or something. They have to have a different price.
That's a great bargain bourbon, I think. And what, now I'll just get this right out of the way here. So you said it's Old Granddad. Is the name of it. And when you mentioned it was the bonded version.
Sure.
And to just a quick, you can look this up, but it's really technically stands for bottled in bond.
Right.
And it's actually an old legal thing from the post-prohibition years that basically to be called bottled in bond meant it had to meet a couple of criteria. One, it has to be at least 100 proof or 50% alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
This podcast is 50% fun.
And it also has to have been stored and aged in a bonded warehouse.
Which means that somebody got out of jail.
Yeah, exactly.
And
not bondage.
Oh, no.
So if it meets that criteria, it can be called bottled in bond. And you don't see that many of them. And it only applies to American whiskey. It's not something you ever see on Scotch or any other kind of...
Well, they're
whiskey.
That's a James Bond.
James Bond.
The Sean Connery. He didn't have his own scotch.
Sean Connery Scotch.
I mean, they've got
Why didn't he have a scotch?
They have like 9 for Games of Thrones.
Oh, so I was just about to get to that because that's what I'm drinking right now.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But
hey, what are you
jumping
drinking?
ahead.
No, but oh yeah.
Anyway, that bottled in bond. If you see it, it's a good choice because you get the higher proof, and it's kind of this assurance of quality because most of the time they don't bother to go for that designation.
They're usually more expensive too, but they're
a little more expensive.
But they're smoother.
Bottled in bond, old granddad is kind of one of these budget brands that you usually see on the bottom shelf of the store.
Budget bond.
And it's quite good for the money,
especially if you're going to mix. I mean, you're making the Manhattan or that New York sour.
It's great. Yeah, they're great in cocktails because the higher proof tends to cut through the sweet components a lot better, I think.
Yeah, so
that's another reason I like to use rye for that same reason.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Riser.
So you actually did break down and get one of the Gay Man's Thrones.
Game of Thrones has done a lot of marketing. I think it's because their upcoming season is the last one.
Yeah.
So they're pulling out all the stops and
see how much money they can make.
They got together with this corporate alcohol behemoth. They're called Diageo.
Oh.
Diageo owns a lot of really famous booze brands, including Johnny Walker and a whole bunch of other
I wondered.
Yep.
Well, they have, because like Johnny Walker, I mean, they have what 9 different versions of.
Oh, there's a whole bunch. There's kind of the standby ones, and then they have all these kind of offshoot limited edition ones they do.
Well, I meant with the Gay Man's Thrones. I mean, they have one for each house or something.
Yeah, they're 8 total.
8.
Game of Thrones whiskeys, and I think from what I could tell, a good half of them are just the same ones that you could get in the standard bottlings, and then some of them are unusual. For example, one of the ones out there is a Lagavulin.
Oh,
yeah. Lagavulin often is sold they have an 8-year version, they have a 12-year, and a 16. I think are the main ones that you find, and this is a 9-year Lagavulin. So basically, okay, so it's a little different, but it's like something that's already been there, but they put a different label on it, and it's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's total marketing. Oh, a lot of it is.
Sure. But which one are you? Which one are you drinking?
So the one I picked up because I was feeling cheap is the Cardhu, which is spelled Cardhu.
Yeah.
It is still a single malt, but it does not have an age statement. The one that is the Game of Thrones version is the Cardhu Gold Reserve.
Oh.
And that one is, somebody's going to ask, it is the House Targaryen.
No.
Targaryen, I think. I don't watch the show, so.
You don't either?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, I thought you'd seen some of them.
Nah, I've seen the first episode where the kid gets thrown out of the castle or whatever. But that's about it. That scene and the first episode of Breaking Bad where they dissolve that guy in a tub full of acid.
That's the only episode I've seen of. I was like, wow, this is really different.
Yeah, I did manage to continue on with Breaking Bad, which is well worth it.
No, I know. I know.
Game of Thrones, I haven't gotten back on the horse there.
The dragon. The chase the dragon.
So anyway, that's
okay. Well, fine.
So this is Cardhu. So far it's a nice, very mellow single malt. I'm drinking it neat, straight up, no ice tonight. Well, each one has like this is for house such and such and house blah blah blah, and each one is a different single malt scotch.
Okay, interesting.
And there's a whole bunch of different ones, and they all have different really fancy packaging.
Oh
and,
yeah, I bet.
like the one I bought is this giant, dragon lizard thing on the front of it. One of them has a big, tower castle, and there's a whole bunch of different. I mean, the packaging is very nice.
Yeah.
I think if you're really into the show, it's probably pretty cool.
Sure.
There's also a Johnny Walker special Game of Thrones whiskey that's not from the same series, and this one is got this like winter themed bottle.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a cool bottle, and like it reveals this the text on the bottle changes if you put it in the freezer. The whole winter is coming business.
Sure.
Supposedly the character of the whiskey is a little different if you drink it cold.
Right. Well, sure.
So, yeah, so it's great cross marketing. The thing about Diageo is they're normally kind of, I don't know, they're like any of the big corporate booze entities. They're good in some ways, but they tend to push profit above everything else.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people complain about them, but they own a lot of really big Scotch distilleries, and they tend to, in this case, really leverage them.
Yeah, evidently.
And the biggest reason that a lot of these big booze companies buy up smaller, maybe family-owned distilleries is because they need a blending stock for their large corporate blends like Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Because those need lots of different, again, if you want to make lots and lots of Johnny Walker Black Label, which is really popular, it's like the Scotch you find everywhere, that you need a lot of certain types of malt whiskeys to keep the character consistent.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there.
So really, you just want to start a little family-owned business and then hope you get bought out, I guess.
It's a little bit like, computer software.
Or farms or whatever.
Yeah.
It's everything now.
It's crazy, yeah. Anyway, this is nice. It's very mellow. It has kind of it's not, I wouldn't call it sophisticated malt,
Where's it compared to like on the Johnny Walker thing? Is it like green or something? I mean, what? I don't know.
It's not as good as green.
Oh. Okay. What's below green? Red?
So the range is usually red is the cheap stuff.
Oh.
I don't like red at all unless it's like maybe with soda or something else. But it's really pretty nasty, I think. Black is the next one up. And black I actually do buy sometimes. I'll have that at a bar. It's decent.
Yeah. Oh, I've had it. It's not offensive.
So anyway, this whiskey is fine. It's
fine.
So it has definitely a lot of kind of a grainy, malty taste to it. It's not smoky. The smell of this is almost an orange marmalade kind of thing going on.
Ooh. Well, that could be a tie.
That's not bad.
That could be a tie-in with Paddington Bear. He could have his own Scotch because he liked orange marmalade, didn't he? And then you could have Winnie the Pooh. Could have
I haven't seen that one.
A honey liqueur. They
I just don't have time to watch these, Phil.
Winnie the Pooh. That was like when we were kids. Oh, we can't. That's
I haven't seen Paddington, is what.
No. Either have I.
I'm aware that Paddington is a thing.
I think he liked orange marmalade, but
English, of course.
Oh, I suppose it's an English bear.
Lots of bitter rind in there. Okay, so that's what I'm drinking. It's good. So you movies and Scotch. Johnny Walker also last year or the year before did a Blade Runner 2049 Black Label.
Oh, okay. Well, because
with this futuristic looking bottle.
But in the movie
they're drinking it in the movie too.
Yeah. Okay, I get it now.
He drinks it. He's drinking
that.
it in the original too. Obvious marketing. I almost picked it up once, but it was like Black Label in a really funky bottle, and it was 3 times the price.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I just couldn't do it.
No, it's not. You're basically just paying for the bottle.
Yeah, and it looked very cool. But then, what do you do? What do you do with it though when you're done?
You hit it over your head.
Yeah, I don't know. I just so let's. I think
Well, the question was, how do you eat your leftover pizza? I eat my leftovers cold. I don't heat them up. I heat it up, and it gets kind of. To me, the sign of a good pizza is how good it is the next day cold. That's one of the signs. I mean, at first it's different signs, but how good it tastes when you first get it is important as well. In college, you'd order a pizza, and if there was some left over, you'd eat it when you woke up. But even if you didn't put it in the fridge, I don't know. We didn't have. I don't know. I'm surprised we all made it out alive from college, but it always tasted kind of cardboard because you'd leave it in the cardboard, and it was down.
Well, and then the cheap stuff would. You would pick the cold pizza up off of the cardboard box, and it would take some of the cardboard up with it. It would stick to the bottom of the crust.
So that added to the cardboard flavor.
So you get your roughage.
But also, I think, that was like Domino's, and back then, maybe I've heard Domino's is better now, but I haven't had it for 100 years. But Domino's pizza kind of had a cardboard taste anyway, so I don't know. So it was a simpler time. What do you heat
in a time
in a world without pizza?
Okay, so on this question, I used to microwave my pizza like an animal. I've come around to the point that I do one of two things. If I'm able to, I will use my toaster oven and reheat it that way, which is quite effective.
Oh, I don't have one of those, see? But
that's the best use for a toaster oven is you can reheat pizza.
If you put it in the microwave, it gets too tough.
Yeah, or soggy, or
whatever.
Or the sauce dries out. It's just a disaster.
Or all three.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's much in that case. Then eating it cold is the way to go.
I really like cold pizza. I don't know why, but
yeah, I've come around on cold pizza. I didn't used to like it as much.
I mean, it depends on the kind, I guess, too. Some are better than others cold.
Thin crust is much better.
I just have cold, whatever cold.
Think.
So what do you like on your pizza?
Batman.
No,
call back to previous episode.
Rohan. He likes Batman. Yeah, Batman Ninja Pizza or whatever.
Ninja Pizza. Hi, Rowan.
Yeah.
I tend to be usually a traditionalist as far as pizza toppings go.
Yeah.
So the standard, sometimes there's nothing better than a good old pepperoni.
Sure.
It's boring, but it's classic. I like I've mentioned before, I'm not a fan of mushrooms, so I don't like mushrooms on them.
Sure.
Most of the other veggies I'm okay with. I have to be careful with green olives because sometimes if you put green olives and some other really salty meats or other things, it can just overpower things.
Oh, yeah. We might as well put some anchovies on there.
So I try and avoid, for example, pepperoni and green olive, which is kind of the salt combo.
Yeah, that's too much.
That doesn't work for me.
I like sausage. Even just
sausage,
if it's a good sausage, just sausage pizza is really good. Sausage and pepperoni too, fine.
Yeah, sausage can be great. Sometimes I get a little bit fussy about my sausage on pizza if you get some where there's just lots and lots of fennel seeds in the sausage.
Yeah,
you're eating your pizza and you bite into a whole fennel seed and it just kills it. Yeah. And I don't mind fennel. It's just that sometimes
they overdo things.
I just don't want to bite down into this honkin' fennel seed.
Honkin' fennel seed.
I can't do it. I just.
Do you have you ever had like the? I'm trying to remember the kinds of pizza we've had over the years at different buffets, but they
tour of buffets.
I like Hawaiian pizza sometimes, Canadian bacon pineapple.
Yep, and pineapple is definitely a line in the sand for people.
Yeah,
you either really like it or you don't.
Oh, they're like, you can't put that on a pizza. I'm like, oh, it's good. No. It's sweet and sour.
I love it, and I think one of my favorite combos is actually Canadian bacon, pineapple, and
jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right.
Oh,
I remember
it's a
now.
Great combination.
Oh no, I tried that after, but because you get that heat too.
Yeah, you get the extra heat with the not too salty protein, as you
Well,
say.
right. You get a little smoke then too from the Canadian bacon. So
Yeah,
you're
if
getting
it's good quality and not just rubbery ham slices.
My kids like macaroni and cheese pizza.
Interesting. So that's just a pizza crust with macaroni and cheese on it, and what? How does that work?
Basically, the way I make it is I put a little extra cheese sauce on first. So I'm eating mac and cheese. Sorry, Generation Mac and Cheese. So when you make the cheese, it has the cheese packet, the mac and cheese. I only put like
as in the craft in the box
something like
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Did you say crap? No. But I don't put all of the cheese sauce in when I make the mac and cheese, and then I put some of the cheese, the leftover cheese, on the crust. Then I put the mac and cheese on top of that and cook it. And the kids love it. I don't know how other people make it, but
Wow.
because you kind of need some kind of sauce. I've tried to make it just putting mac and cheese on crust, and it's not. I don't know. It's missing something.
So the extra cheese sauce kind of holds it together.
I think so. It becomes the sauce.
Yeah. You need some kind of a sauce. Yeah, you need something under there to hold it up, and that kind of gets to one of my pet peeves about pizza, traditional, not mac and cheese kind. The sauce for me really can make or break a good pizza.
Yeah.
I think.
So what do you
I
think about like
a good
Chicago
sauce.
pizza or no? What's the kind of pizza where they put the sauce on top?
I think that's
That's
a Chicago,
Chicago, isn't
deep
it?
dish.
Deep dish?
Yep.
It's kind of like a lasagna or something.
It's not my favorite.
No. No offense.
It's not. No. It's it's kind of its own thing because I feel like you have to be in the mood for that. And my problem with it is, I feel like the sauce kind of gets lost because there's so much bread and cheese and whatever else is on it, and it often there's not enough by the time you really dig into it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think
And for some
of like
reason, if it's underneath in the traditional structure, then it works better for me. But
yeah. Well, I mean, some people really like the other kind, but my wife,
Yeah.
Jody, my wife, she likes it the real thin crust. Like I used to tease her, it's like, well, just put it on a cracker or something,
or that ridiculous thing, flatbreads. which
Well,
is
that's
just
everywhere now.
Lame way of saying a cheater's pizza.
Well, a lot of brew pubs or whatever, that's what they'll have for food.
It's got to be one of the easiest things
Yeah.
for these places to throw together.
But you can do some fun things with it. I've seen. I'm trying to think of something like caramelized onions and what was that? Some kind of brown sauce. It wasn't. I don't know. You can do some fun things with it. Barbecue.
Yeah, that's a common one. The barbecue chicken flatbreads, or they'll do like a Thai peanut, thing with chicken on it. And
Well, we've talked about it before, but that one place you went, it sounded like they put like Chinese food takeout on a pizza or something.
oh, that's that place in Iowa.
I think we talked about that in a different episode, but
I don't remember talking about that place on one of our shows.
But yeah,
they're-
isn't that what it's like Chinese food on a pizza, isn't it?
Yeah, they have like a sesame chicken or kung pao chicken pizza, and yeah, it's a thin crust loaded up with these Chinese food toppings. You haven't lived till you see a huge pizza covered with baby corn. I mean, it's just funky as hell.
Baby corn.
For me, it's not really pizza. It's more of a gimmick thing, but it's cool. It's okay.
I think you liked it though, didn't you? Or your
Yeah,
your wife
I
liked it?
didn't love it, partially because I'm kind of a curmudgeon about certain. There are
About
two things
everything.
that. Yeah, I'm terrible. I don't know why I'm not qualified to talk about food at all because of my childish tastes. So a couple of things that show up on these stunt pizzas, I'm going to call them.
Stunt pizzas.
And what they are is that two things that there are green onions and cilantro.
Cilantro?
Oh yeah, because if it's got any kind of Thai or Chinese thing, they'll just cover it in cilantro. And I'm one of those people that find cilantro to taste like soap.
So you're one of those. I don't.
I'm one of them.
I don't have that, fortunately. Well, maybe
Lucky
somebody
you, because cilantro is in a lot of really good food.
Maybe somebody could. That guy could splice out get the crisper out and splice out the gene.
Yep, I need a trip to the crisper
that makes you. All of a sudden cilantro doesn't taste like soap thanks to this guy from China.
Cilantro soap, and I can twist a cherry stem with my tongue.
You can't do that? Well, I can.
I can curl my tongue.
Yeah, I've
never tried.
I can make like
my life pursuits.
I can make a W with my tongue even.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. That
show off.
It used to be a bar trick, I guess.
Where was I? So yeah, these things are fine.
Stunt pizza.
Yeah, they kind of exist on a different material plane from what I consider to be normal pizza.
Oh.
And I'm definitely one of these people that, for the most part, it's hard to really fuck up a pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes will even eat Totino's, the ones that are usually $1.
Oh yeah,
they're fine with the best enjoyed with the little square pepperonis.
Yeah, I know.
They look like tiny pepperoni cubes.
But I think that gets into a nostalgic thing too. I wonder if we hadn't had that as a kid, if we would like it. You know what I mean?
Which, by the way, so Totino's pizzas, the party pizza they call them.
Yeah.
Those now are made in a square shape. They're not round anymore.
The whole pizza is now.
Yeah, it's a square.
Okay.
It's like a flatbread. See what I did there?
Well, they're all flat.
You know what's a great thing to do with those is you put it in your toaster oven.
Yeah, I gotta get a toaster
oven.
And
they come out, amazingly good for a $1 pizza.
Yeah, they do the pizza rolls too, don't they?
Oh yeah. Formerly known as Geno's. I know way too much about these things.
Oddly enough, I was not a pothead, but I loved those kind of things. I haven't had one for years.
Pizza rolls are great. I could totally eat some right now.
I could too.
No, in general, I often prefer kind of not the super thin, but just what a lot of places call a hand tossed.
Yeah.
Because it's enough there to really hold a lot of toppings and sauce, but it's not crazy, deep dish that's all dough. Now don't get me wrong. Sometimes a really good classic pan pizza where the bottom of it is almost fried because there's so much oil and butter down there.
I like
it's all gold, like old style Pizza Hut.
That's what I like. I like that. Well, yeah, that buttery.
Pizza Hut used to be a lot better than it is now, I think.
I don't know if they're trying to compete with or uncompete with Little Caesars or something.
Yeah, that stuff's nasty.
I've had plenty of them. Yeah. I mean, they're
I know they'll
convenient.
Do it in a pinch. They really will.
It's convenient, especially when you got kids. You're like, whatever. We got to do this 300 things tonight. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
Yeah, we've never done 300 things in one night at this house. I just have to say, but some families get overtaxed, and maybe they use Little Caesars more often. But I can't blame them. And
I pretty much, and I've gotten to the point where you have to get to know the place you're ordering from. Like, there are certain places that I will ask for extra sauce in the pizza.
Yeah, I never gotten, I guess, so Red Savoy, that was a real...
We were, my wife and I were wondering whether you would bring up Red Savoy.
Well,
so she threatened to come on the show and diss them.
Oh, but it's so the sauce was so spicy. It was.
It was very. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Well,
now everybody said no. Red Savoy, of course, the original location near downtown St. Paul is long gone now, and the owner is deceased. And,
well, I think. Well, it all went downhill after a car ran into it. It seemed like that.
And he hit his head or something.
I don't know. A car drove into the place.
I know a couple of people who went to the last weekend they were open or something. It was waited 4 hours.
Yeah.
to order something.
I mean, I really liked it. It was
Yeah,
really
it was
spicy
good.
and it's kind of deep dish. It wasn't not real deep, but it wasn't that deep.
Yeah, it was good. And now what everybody says now is that they sold the
Yeah, there are.
to a franchise.
Yeah,
And there are a whole bunch of them now, and the word on the street, so to speak, is that they're not nearly as good.
well, they probably went cheaper. They probably don't use the same quality of ingredients or something. But they had really good sausage too. But man, it was almost too spicy.
They had a killer sauce though.
It was almost too spicy. But yeah, it was such a good
like
sauce.
that.
Anyway,
Yeah,
whatever.
and near our previous place, actually still not that far away, but is this kind of just family owned red sauce Italian place that has really great pizza, and they just do the thin, cut up into squares kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's some of the best thin crust pizza I've ever had. It's
I'm trying
so
to
good.
think. There was my dad worked there for a while when he was a kid, and it was in Rapid City, but there was a different pizza place in downtown Rapid
Oh, was
City.
it the one over next to Fifth Street and
Yeah, it was across the
What was it
street
ca-
from the Rapid
by
when I was
Hardee's?
there.
And
Yeah, but I don't remember Richard Nixon statue.
yeah,
Maybe
it's now an Indian restaurant.
Oh, but
I
that
keep
was
wanting
good
to say
pizza.
Randy's Pizza Barrel, but that's not it.
No, I can't remember. But yeah, that was the first time I
Jerry's
ever had.
House of Pizza.
Yeah, Jerry's.
Jerry's.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was the
famous Rapid City place.
that was the first time I ever had the square square. It was a round pizza, but they cut in squares.
Yeah, that's what this place does too. The same idea.
And I love those
if you're
little tiny
lucky,
corners. If you got,
You get the tiny corners, and if you're lucky, they're just a little bit singed.
yep, that was my favorite piece.
The little burnt, almost the equivalent of burnt ends.
I
Like their
would-
pizza slices.
I would just take those. But see, I think that
Oh, we fight over those here. Yeah.
I think that got into that was a thing too. Like when you make pizza at home, like some cheese spills over a little bit or bubbles over, and it gets really dark and crispy. That's the best stuff. One day, I just melted some cheese. That's really good.
I'm telling you, man, toaster oven is what you need.
I guess I need a toaster. I don't know where I'd put it. We have no
You
counters.
you can just put it right on your countertop. You can
We don't
put
have
some
a
random
countertop.
bread thing and put cheese over it, and like 5 minutes later, you have like cheese toast or
No. Yeah, I'll look.
stunt pizza. But it's so easy. Plus, you don't trash your oven.
No, I'll look into it.
Yeah, I like ours a lot, and
we
and
just
you can
don't
make
have
toast
any-
in them if you really want to. Some people prefer making conventional toast in a toaster oven
Oh.
rather than a pop-up toaster. But
Yeah, but then it goes psh when it's done. That's exciting. It pops up.
it is.
And some of us don't get out much. Well,
Any more notes about pizza?
I don't know. I think I remember Godfather's Pizza. We used to go to the buffet there. That was one of the
Yeah,
pizza
so
buffets.
let's do a quick tour of nostalgic buffets. So
Well, we've already
Godfather's-
talked about Shakey's.
Yeah, Shakey's. You've gotten more of that than you wanted, I think.
The Time to Lean podcast, more than you wanted.
So the classics were Godfather's and the Pizza Hut lunch buffet, which is well known outside of Rapid City, and where you would get at Pizza Hut you would get the random pizzas plus the iceberg lettuce based salad bar.
Yeah.
And some kind of, did they do a dessert at that one? I forget.
Probably that pudding stuff.
They had pudding, but did they do a dessert pizza?
Oh, yeah, I think so. But I my memory is kind of merged.
See, the thing I'll say about Pizza Hut's original buffet is that they didn't let it get out of control and sprawled. So they didn't have chicken and fries and
Yeah.
whatever else or crazy
I don't know.
shit.
You got to have JoJo potatoes with the pizza, though. If you're going to have a buffet, forget it.
Yeah, I admire Pizza Hut's original buffet in its simplicity. They really, I mean, they just didn't have room. It's a hut. A shack or what? Pizza Shack. Remember that? On Lake Street, where the year I moved here, somebody was murdered or
Oh, oh,
cop was killed.
that's right. Oh, geez.
Pizza Shack. Yeah.
No, I don't know if that's still there. What else? Oh, yeah, Godfather. So you could you could ask. That was a totally different kind of pizza, but I liked it too.
They were one of the first places to do that really thick, tons of cheese and.
Yeah, I liked it. That was where I first started getting pizza with like black olives and different things. But yeah, you could. I remember you could even ask. You could request a pizza, then make it.
It's very much like Pizza Ranch.
Oh.
It does that.
Also known as El Ranchero de la Pizza.
I don't know if I've ever been to a Pizza Ranch. But
how have you avoided going to a Pizza Ranch when you have kids?
I don't know if there's anyone around here.
No, they're a great kid thing because that's all they do is pizza buffet.
Well, there used to be an old country buffet.
And they have dessert, and they have fried chicken, and they have shit like that.
We could talk about buffets, but no, we used to go to the old country buffet. Jody wouldn't go with us, but I'd take the
Rest
kids.
In peace, yes. Yeah, the ones up here I think have become Golden Corrals, or
yeah, I think there's a few old country buffets left still, but I think they sold their brand or whatever. Oh well, alas.
A lot of crappy food in there.
The other thing that's come out recently I was going to talk to you about was, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but have you seen The Other Side of the Wind? Speaking of pizza, I think Orson Welles, he loved pizza. But the Other Side of the Wind came out, and a documentary. What's that called again? They'll Love Me When I'm Dead, I think.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So
which is a making of. So, yeah, I think, do you want to describe it? Or?
Well, I think have you seen either of them yet?
I've seen the documentary. I have not seen all of Other Side of the Wind yet.
I watched Other Side of the Wind, and then I watched, because I had a cold, so
and that gave you an increased attention span.
Well, you're kind of just laying there watching stuff, but I watched Other Side of the Wind, and then I watched the documentary. And I if anyone's watching and they like Orson Welles or whatever, I would recommend.
Oh, you have to see it.
I think it's a must-see.
It's been one of these things that's been. I've read about for years. One of these missing movies of his that
he had several in the works at all times, but just the way he worked.
And some Other Side of the Wind, they didn't get into this in the documentary probably for political reasons, meaning not politics, but like people's
careers.
And there were lots of
they alluded to some
stories. But about especially with that business with the Shah of Iran's company and all that stuff.
Well, even the rich little thing was weird.
That's just it's fascinating documentary actually. Even if you don't ever watch the movie, you get a lot of it just from that.
I think you should watch both.
But the thing that's there were lots of back and forth with the various people who had interest in this movie, like financial interests and other things, and there were legal fights. There were. A lot of people say that lady that was involved with Orson Welles at the end of his life, she held it up for a long time because she wanted too much money, and I think at the end it was like
she co-wrote it. She's the star of it, basically.
Yeah, she's the star of it and
co-star.
Yeah, she had some. I don't know what her interest was as far as legal. Financial, that kind of thing.
Let me rephrase this. She's the star of the movie within the movie.
That's right. Yeah, it'll make much more sense if you go read up on it. No,
she's like the close. She's not even the star. Whatever. Yeah. She's the woman love interest within the movie.
It sounds insane if you try and describe it. So.
But I think he was inventing this mockumentary thing because I think if you watch it, I think if somebody watched it now. Because it just came out, and Peter Bogdanovich I think helped wrap it up, but I think because I don't think the edit was completely finished.
No, I think there were lots of it. I mean, I think he had the outline of it done and stuff like that, and he had edited chunks of it, but there's a lot of stuff that I think had to be interpreted and
Well, it was in his head,
to do, especially with a movie that's so unconventional like this.
Oh, but I mean, where did this come from? I mean, now it seems like because there have been 100 mockumentaries, and now that quick edit. Looking at it now within this frame of mind, the beginning of the movie, the edits are just incredible, and the timing and the cuts and And the idea of, I think basically he had, I don't know how many different directors filming, and some of them were in the movie, and then students, film students were filming, and all that footage was spliced together in different ways. It was really cutting edge. But and then the idea of a movie within a movie, that movie is kind of making fun. It is making fun of, I suppose, of art movies like I'm trying to think of.
And Toniani and those guys. Yeah, that stuff that was really big in the 60s. That there's references to that. The thing that's and then there's the big
atmospheric films of the 60s, that kind of thing.
Wells was also kind of mocking himself.
Well, yeah,
in a lot of ways, because he practically, I mean, it's basically about him as the director.
But John Huston plays him.
But it might as well have been Wells. And
Peter Bogdanovich kind of plays himself.
He does, yeah.
Because Rich
is fascinating, actually.
Rich Little was going to play that role originally, but that's the difference.
Yeah, it's
that's weird. What were you going to say, Peter? Yeah.
Bogdanovich is one of these really weird. He kind of, he had this. It's a lot of people describe this as somebody who finds a mentor and then during the course of their relationship kind of outshines him, because he had some big hits and was a recognized director in his own right,
and financially successful.
They had a weird kind of fucked up relationship, I think.
Yeah, and
that Bogdanovich just never seemed to, move past that, and his career got kind of down to the dumps, and there's a whole story there somewhere too.
Right. Well, they touch on it a tiny
Wells,
bit.
I think Wells is a fascinating personality just by himself. I'm a big fan of many of his films. As it turns out, I just got a new Blu-ray of his mangled masterpiece, The Magnificent Ambersons, which they just put a new edition out. Unfortunately, they'll probably never find the missing parts of it that were cut out. But
no.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
But there's this whole kind of theory about that he was just an intentionally self-destructive personality.
Sure.
Which not everybody believes. That's what's so fascinating is you can read it. You can read his career in life in a lot of different contradictory ways.
Well, but I'm guessing he probably went through different phases where sometimes he was self-destructive. But also,
I think he must have been, because some of the things that happened to his movies and everything, there's just no other explanation since it happened multiple times.
But he had a weird way of working too, where he'd, like, even Other Side of the Wind. I mean, I don't know how many years it spanned, but he'd film a little bit. He'd go do an acting role to make money to fund it. But while he was working on another film too, and I don't know how he managed.
Well, that's the way his entire later career directing thing went, because he did all these Shakespeare films, and they also were filmed over long stretches of time, and he almost all self-funded.
Yeah, but he'd just come back. He'd pick up at it and bring back the actors, and they'd start where they left off. I don't know how it was all in his head, but I'm sure he took notes and stuff, I think. But I don't know. Yeah. I haven't seen any of these notes.
It's kind of he must have. Brilliant guy. But I consider what I've seen, at least so far, just to be kind of a fascinating study, if you will. Flawed masterpiece is probably a good way to put it, and obviously very cutting edge as far as the techniques.
Oh yeah,
other things that were just like on Citizen Kane, where a lot of that stuff was ahead of its time. The cinematography and everything else.
And that was kind of a blessing and a curse for him too, because every time he'd make a movie,
everybody asked him how it can. Yeah, Kane was. He said it himself many times. If you watch some of his interviews over the years, I think making Citizen Kane at age 25 or whatever was kind of a huge curse for him.
Well, how are you going to top that one? Wunderkind.
Right. Exactly, and so psychologically, I think it's really interesting, and but both of these are on Netflix. Netflix, I believe, put up a lot of the money to get this finished, which is great.
I was thinking, it brought up 8.5 a little bit by Fellini, even though that's a totally different. It's a totally different movie, but it gets into that same. The John Huston character is sort of like Orson Welles, and the Fellini was definitely drawing on his own experience in 8.5 at the later end of his career, and kind of referencing himself, or not kind of, but definitely, sort of autobiographical, but in an exaggerated, dramatic way, I suppose. But I had some. It reminded me of that a little bit. But John Huston is when you watch the movie. I mean, I know from seeing the documentary, he didn't quite know. You didn't really know what was going. Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, Orson? But there's one scene where he's talking to a little girl, and that's a whole other thing.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But throughout the movie, he's getting progressively drunker and drunker because it's at his party for this unveiling of this movie in some kind of California canyon house or whatever, where the likes of Charles Manson might murder people, but it had that kind of feel going on. But he's like talking. He's talking to this girl. And he's spitting, and I don't know if he is on purpose, but I think maybe he actually was that drunk. I don't know if it was acting or not, but there's a naturalism element there that was really interesting. But then again, when you think back, it's like that was filmed probably 4 years after. I don't even know, before the scene before it. So how did you somehow? It's like blending a whiskey. How do you put all these elements together? You make a movie.
Yes.
You make a movie that takes 18 years to make, and somehow there was a cohesiveness there. I mean, I know the editing was important, but there was a progression of drunkenness or whatever, etc., of the John Huston character. Not just drunkenness, but the progression of the character.
It did have a certain narrative structure, at least.
Somehow. Yeah. I don't know how much of that was after the fact, after he'd been dead for years.
Yeah, I got to think some of it he had sketched out, but
oh yeah,
I think it did take quite a bit of work to put it together.
I think Peter Bogdanovich did it too, didn't he? Isn't he the one that finished it up?
He and several others. I think it was this group effort. Mm-hmm.
Well, there was hundreds of hours of film, probably.
Yeah, I think they had
or
to
dozens.
make a lot of interesting choices. Yeah, they shot so much film. Some of it's almost a little bit of a Robert Altman kind of stuff with
that's
filming
another good
lots
connection.
of different conversations all at the same time, these weird ensemble things, and
they were
that
improvising.
reminded me of that. Yep.
And of course, he was interested in having these other directors were in it too from the time. Those oh God, he played in Blue Velvet. I can't think of his name. Oh, geez. Whatever. He was selling retirement things before he died.
Dennis Hopper?
Yes.
Okay.
Dennis Hopper's in...
He did show up, you're right.
And I don't know. I'm guessing there are a few other hours of just Dennis Hopper talking available somewhere, but he was only in it a little bit. But the thing, when I watched The Other Side of the Wind, that was confusing, because I said, God, I swear that's Rich Little. So I don't know, and then you watch the documentary and it explains that a little bit, but he was kind of, all the Rich Little parts were redone by Peter Bogdanovich, but I think Rich Little is still, I almost need to watch Other Side of the Wind again just to see, because I swear Rich Little is still in the movie somehow, which is confusing, because what's his character if he's not in it anymore? There's some guy at the party, I guess.
That is confusing.
No, I think so. I think it's not perfectly edited.
Wow.
Rich,
okay.
I don't know. Rich Little, he didn't. People,
I think
people can
we
see
should,
the documentary.
I think when we have Sean on next, we should have him talk about this too.
Talk about Rich Little.
This movie.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
He might talk about Rich Little. I don't know. He might.
Well, I think it was John Huston said, why have somebody on here that can do the voices instead of just having the people the original people? Yeah, I just got a big kick out of John Huston in that.
I love John Huston. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great in everything. He made some amazing films, too, on his own.
I think he has the best scene in Casino Royale. Is it?
Oh, that's right.
Doesn't he have the scene where he talks about descending his bowels to clean them by hand or something? Isn't that like in the war he was talking about?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Talk about another messy movie. Yeah.
Oh, that was a very messy movie. Messier than... Well, no. I won't say messier than Other Side of the Wind, but... I enjoyed the movie. It was just the sheer differentness of it.
Otherness.
Even today, when things have probably been influenced by that, or also paralleledly invented later, but that. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know, because I'm trying to think in the context of the time when he was starting this. It seems like he kind of invented several different, but then again, he may have been. I know he was referring to other European atmospheric films in the '60s, and he's kind of making fun of that. So I'm not. I don't think he made fun of, or he invented everything. But I don't. Did anybody make a mockumentary before this? I wonder. I mean, a lot of people think, this is Spinal Tap. It's the first one, but I don't know. That's the first one that made it big, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it.
Oh, all right, fine.
Oh, fine.
Damn kids.
There's damn kids today, and it's now snowing out.
It is winter. Winter has come.
Winter has come. It took me a long time to get home from work today.
Wow, it was only like half an inch, but it was kind of slick.
Yeah. Slick.
And
but not enough for me to use my new snowblower, though.
No, not yet.
Sadly.
We make fun of people in the South that have like 300 car pileups when it gets a half an inch of snow, but the first snow in Minnesota, it always feels like people are like a little bit like, oh yeah, snow.
No, it's a warm up. Excuse the expression. Period. Where they forget how to drive on a slippery road.
It seems like we just have that learning curve every year, So we can't.
Yeah.
We can't.
And today was one of those days people were not.
Yeah.
Quite up to it.
Oh, but it surprised me a little bit. You get on the bridge and it's like, oh, I couldn't stop now if I wanted to. That's always exciting. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got to pump the brakes. You figure it out. Mm-hmm. But some people it takes a little longer than others, and you got to drive slower. But so we can't really make fun of people in the South that only have icy roads once every 7 years. I mean, we can't. Maybe it'll be more common nowadays. They'll get more used to it.
With climate change.
Now, how can it be cold if it's global warming? No.
Yeah, there you go.
The president said that again. Thanks, President. Did you see the meme that Obama posted about Biden for his birthday?
Oh yeah, those are.
It just brings back the memory of all those memes, but
those are so funny.
But Obama made one. I don't know.
I miss the guy. We all do.
I don't know. 63% of the people do.
Right.
13% of the people still believe he was a Muslim.
Oh yeah, at least.
Oh, at least 26. It's hard to tell. I didn't do a poll recently. We'll have a time to lean poll. Do you think Obama was a Muslim? No.
That's a great one. Let's do that. This has been a weird night. I don't know.
So everybody go out and see a weird movie. Do you have any other recommendations or anything? What other things have you seen lately?
Well, let's see. Oh, a quick one. I saw Ralph Wrecks the Internet.
That's a sequel, right?
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph.
I haven't seen that one either.
It's good. I really like it.
I've heard they are, yeah. The referential stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It's clever, kind of sweet-natured. I liked it a lot. It wasn't afraid to poke fun at itself and
good
Disney and other stuff. And it's
a
clever.
Disney movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Disney movie, and yet they in the new one they kind of made fun of all the princess stuff pretty effectively.
I read about that, but I haven't seen it.
And they even had a couple of the original voice actors from some of those movies do little cameos.
Nice. I always appreciate
it's
that.
Good. I would highly recommend it. Your kids would probably like it too.
Keep giving the voiceover guys work. I appreciate that.
Wrong. No.
Not him.
Yeah, I'd say that one is worth a watch. I enjoyed it. It's not earth shattering, but I liked it.
Well, then I guess I basically already recommended Other Side of the Wind, and They'll Love Me When I'm Dead. I think people should watch both, and in that order. But you can do whatever you want. Maybe watch half of one and then half of the other, and go back and forth and watch a little 8.5, and then watch some Robert Altman movies and throw them all together and then make a soup. A movie.
And a pizza.
A movie pizza.
A pizza.
The stunt pizza. A stunt movie.
And stunt ninja pizza.
Well, all right. That's about it. Don't you think?
I'm gonna stop it.
You already did?
No, I'm going to.
Oh, because something really good might happen now.
Good night, Phil.
Good night, John. Anyway, whatever.
And, slick. And slick.
And
here's the song. The tree is leaning and so are we. The lights are gleaming. They're environmentally friendly and LED. The choir of Phil, he sings his song. Dong, ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. And now John's basin plays along. Dong, ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. The tree is leaning and so are we. The presents lean on the Christmas tree. Santa drank all the hooch. Another holiday screws the pooch. The tree is leaning and so are we.